What's up, Steve?
Not much. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for my camera quality. Oh my gosh, I'm so zoomed in on the live stream; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
I'm having to do this off my phone. My computer just broke. I guess I don't really know what to say, but it's going. How was your weekend?
It was all right. I mean, I didn't spend much of my time watching North Wilkesboro, so that's probably why I had a good weekend. So
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to be completely honest, I think it was a
I watched the truck race. Truck race was good, but
the truck race and everything else was great, but the All Star race just didn't live up to the hype. And no, it's not the track.
well,
For everybody that's
before we get too far into our North Wilkesboro discussion, let's go ahead and hop into our official NASCAR segment, the Monday Burn. First thing we got to talk about is obviously recapping North Wilkesboro. I mean, I'm just talking about NASCAR here. The truck race was good. The trucks have a good short track package. The trucks honestly have a good everything package. The truck series is, in my opinion, overhated. But the Cup short track package is just it's not it.
not it.
They don't need a diffuser. They need narrower tires. They need tires that have more fall off, and they don't need to be shifting. So it's just some things they could change on the short track package. Whether or not NASCAR is going to listen to the fans and people like Denny Hamlin, we'll see. Not optimistic about it, but we'll see. But I mean, it was a cool thing to see North Wilkesboro come back and have all the festivities all week long. And I'm glad that it's back on the schedule. And I love the track, but they need to fix the package before Cup goes back. And
I I agree with you 100% on that. The only thing that I saw that could have been done differently, well, we'll get into that in just a second. Continue.
so people are saying the surface is too worn out. I mean, that gives the track character. And I understand if they want to do like a partial repave, like the upper lane. People have talked about paving the upper two lanes, having the bottom lane stay the same to be as, uh, kind of pick your poison, like a slick upper lane or the rough lower lane. Either way, you can both carry speed better in both circumstances. That's something they could do, but I don't. I think if they paved the whole surface, it would ruin the track for the next 3, 4, 5 years until it starts to get worn out again. Um, so, and Kyle Larson won both races, obviously. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get these graphics out of the way. So obviously, starting with the Tyson 250, the truck race, Kyle Larson was your winner, and at least the truck race, I think he had some decent competition. I mean, Bubba was running good there. Hocevar was up front. Corey Heim. I mean, Ty Majeski. There was a bunch of good guys that could have won that race. Late race caution or anything. You know, there was no telling what was going to happen. But the Cup race, you knew what was going to happen after lap 20.
I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed with the racing. It was basically, hey, let's fall in behind the leader. There wasn't a lot of, I mean, not necessarily good racing. Is a lot of passing. There was hardly any passing. There was a slight bit of aggressive driving, not too much, but with it being $1 million on the line, you would think, hey, we're gonna get another incident like any Dale Earnhardt incident or Kyle Busch and uh, Chase Elliott incident. Somebody gets spun, somebody gets aggressive.
Yeah.
Something that makes it not so freaking repetitively boring. I'm gonna be honest. I was bored. I fell asleep until the last 15 laps.
I'm gonna be honest. I did not feel bad about missing the race because I missed the Open, which the Open had some action. Noah Gragson forgetting there was a wall there on the inside. Michael McDowell and Ty Gibbs, their whole scuffle. But I missed all that because I was at a Montgomery Biscuits game. And I got back in time to see the main event, and I ate, and it was like, oh, I got to do the Sunday league racing with Midwest. Speaking of Midwest, we'll get to that in a second.
God, that
But
was
yeah,
fun. That was
I
so fun.
it, so I had to do that, and I got back. I got done with that maybe like 20 to go, and yeah, everybody knew it was going to happen. Um, it's that's our take on that. Before we go any further with the Monday burnout stuff, which the only thing left is our preview for Charlotte, and the driver of the week will announce who that is. But I think you have a good idea. Um, so for Midwest, we were going to do this at the start, but I forgot. So Midwest Sim Racing, partner of us, LRR, they have a Wreckfest season going on right now. And this past race was at Kingston Speedway or Kingston Raceway, uh, a Martinsville-esque track, kind of a paperclip shape. Um, that was some rowdy action. Uh,
God, it was awesome.
to start it off with Heat 1, let me pull up the full running order and results and everything. I want to make sure I don't, get my facts wrong. Let's see here. Should have had this pulled up beforehand, but when am I ever prepared? So Tim Bevington, aka I'm gonna just say his gamer tag, Plick My Phoenix. He I have to say his gamer tag, I guess. He won Heat 1, and I myself won Heat 2, and Steve, you actually led like the first half of Heat 2.
I did. I thought I was gonna come away with the underdog kind of story there. God, was I heartbroken.
I mean, I was the one that kind of roughed you up a bit. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, all is fair in Wreckfest.
for Wreckfest, that was clean, exceptionally clean.
For those of you that do not know what Wreckfest is like if you put Demolition Derby, NASCAR, and Rallycross in the same category.
Yeah, it's a game on Xbox and PC, PlayStation. It's insane.
I would
Um,
recommend everybody buy it. It's awesome.
Heat 3, Dakota Adams won, and then Heat 4, Matt Chastain. The points there. Yeah, the wait a minute.
What?
No, he was
No,
not
not
points
at the
leader.
time. He wasn't the points leader at the
Bobby
time.
was the points leader.
Yes.
The guy who eventually became points leader after this race won Heat 4. In the main event, Tim Bevington won. Chastain was second. Not Ross Chastain, but Matt Chastain was second. Um, our
Ross the
own
Hoss would be perfect in this.
our friend Taylor Beaudry was third. Shout out to
God,
him for that brilliant move he pulled at the finish line. You want to
I'm
talk
mad
about
about
that?
that. I'm mad about that. I had that shit wrapped up. The podium was there. I had it, and Taylor just comes out, Leroy Jenkins it, and just sends it.
Okay. So for context, he was gonna get third. He was gonna pass Taylor on the high side coming out of the final corner. Taylor saw Steve coming and decided, you know what? I'm gonna turn right, put myself in the wall so Steve can't pass me, and he just let Steve push him across the line, and that's exactly what happened. So
It was a
Steve finished
reverse
fourth.
Hail Melon.
So Steve finished fourth and rounding out the top five, and also I was just gonna say, I was just gonna talk about the podium finish and the LRR drivers, but it just so happens that that's the top five since you finished fourth and I finished fifth. Um, so I finished fifth, and I believe now Matt Chastain holds an 8 point lead over Brock Bybee as they go into the championship race next week. So Matt has a target on his back for sure. It's gonna be fun. I hate that I'm
Is
gonna miss it because I'm gonna
isn't
be
there a
in the
bounty
venue.
for that?
Yeah, Matt has a bounty now, so he's definitely not surviving next week.
So, guys, you hear that are in that league? I don't know if you guys are even watching, but if you are, take out Matt. You know what to do. Rough him up.
So,
We're not
I
showing any
guess
favoritism or anything, but rough him up.
moving on to the next part of the Monday burnout, predictions preview for Charlotte. So, Coke 600. I think all three divisions are running next week. I could be wrong, but I know yeah, Cup and Xfinity and Trucks and Arca are all running this weekend. You know, Arca there's probably a handful of people that could win that one. Any of the Venturini cars, and you know,
I
we'll,
mean,
we'll
all the Venturini cars.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But speaking of that race, Brayton Laster's going to be running in it. Good friend of
Oh,
ours, so that'll be fun to see. Trucks probably going to be a Cup bringer running Charlotte if I had to guess, because that's usually one of the races Cup guys tend to run. Xfinity might see some of the same, not sure. But then the Coke 600, the main thing, it's going to be a fuel mileage race in all probability towards the end. There's no telling who's going to win it. The Coke 600 is not talked about as much for being a wild card race, like something like, say, Talladega. So there really is no telling what's going to happen this weekend.
you know,
What do you think? You got any kind of predictions?
you know, I think we're gonna see an underdog. I think a first time Cup Series winner is gonna win this race, and
Very possible.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for what I'm about to say. I think, God, this hurts to
I
say.
know. I know who you're gonna say.
Ty Gibbs, I think, is going to get his first NASCAR Cup Series win. I have a feeling he's been running strong here recently. He's starting to figure things out. I don't think it's going to be an immaculate victory. Well, actually, it would be an immaculate victory. It's not going to be a dominating victory. It's going to be something is just going to put him in the right place at the right
It's
time.
gonna be Mickey Mouse win. You're saying?
Yes, the Austin Dillon style Daytona wins. He's going to back into it,
Well, and
win
his
his
Coke
first.
600 win. I mean,
There we go.
exactly. Um, so I guess really the last part of the Monday burnout, since we're approaching 15 minutes, I want to try to wrap this segment up. Got to talk about our NASCAR Driver of the Week here at LRR, and surprise, surprise, for the second week in a row, Kyle Larson is your LRR NASCAR Driver of the Week. I mean, he wins Xfinity, almost wins Cup last week, and then this week he decides that he actually will win two races. He wins Truck and Cup. Um, Dominant showing. I mean, yeah, I don't think you can argue about anybody else being driver of the week. Honestly, Bubba could have been a decent second, decently close second, because he had a good run in trucks and second in the All Star race. But
You
I
know,
think it was no
that
surprise that Kyle Larson's.
time. I don't think it showed on the live.
Huh?
It didn't show on the live. Can we show that graphic one more time?
What graphic?
Didn't you put up the graphic for the
Check
because
your
the
screen right now.
okay, I see Monday burn. Oh, there we go. It didn't pop up. It like flashed and that was it.
Okay. Um.
Sorry guys, we're still trying to figure out this
Yeah, we're
this
still new to this
platform.
software.
So if we kind of stop in the middle of it,
So I
we're learning.
guess with that being said, let's move on to our second segment, which is Formula Liberty. 500 qualifying. Um, Alex Pillow got the pole, and as far as the last chance group, it was Stingray Robb, Christian Lundgaard, Jack Harvey, and Graham Rahal. And Stingray Robb, good friend of ours, he was the former guest when we were with URN. He qualified, which was really all I was hoping for. And Graham Rahal did not qualify. And to add insult to injury, RLL um, had some more bad luck today when Catherine Legg was caught up in a crash in practice with Stephen Wilson, and news just came out that Stephen Wilson broke a vertebra in his back. He will not be able to race in the Indy 500, so I'm unsure as to what the rules are, if they're going to have a sub driver or if they're going to give his spot to Graham Rahal. I don't know what's going to happen.
So with what manufacturer are they? Because honestly, I don't know. I don't follow IndyCar that much.
There's Honda and Chevy,
Are they a
and
Chevy manufacturer?
Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan's Honda.
Oh, well, I had an idea. We discussed it briefly before the show, but there,
Hmm.
there's Kyle Larson's chance right there. Throw him in, see what he does.
Hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to work with how they let people in, but besides obviously Pelot getting pole, Ray Hall being knocked out by Jack Harvey, and then the injury today. I mean, Takuma Sato, he's been fast all week. Rosenquist has been fast. Scott Dixon's always fast. Indy 500 practice. So that's really about it. Anything going on with Atlanta Motorsports Park, Steve?
I do know that they are doing some testing out there currently. This past weekend, they did an endurance race with the Lucky Dog Racing Series. I'm not exactly sure who won that. I didn't get a race recap. I was not there in person due to prior obligations. But the race was a 2-day event. It was I can't remember the exact number. It was an endurance race. The first day was wild. They had like 40 something cars take the field, and that's a lot for AMP. That's almost as big as the biggest series they have out there, which is the Champ Car Racing Series, which should be coming to AMP in the next few months. So I will definitely be there for that. Hopefully, I get some of you guys out there too. But again, I do not have a race recap or a winner overall for the race this weekend. I do apologize for that.
Well, with nothing else to really talk about, kind of a brief Formula Liberty this week. Pretty much the only last thing to talk about is the open wheel driver of the week that we selected, which was Alex Palou. Obviously, forgetting the Indy 500 pole, Chip Ganassi Racing's third straight Indy 500 pole. He got it by .007 miles an hour, I believe.
It was
Um,
minuscule amounts.
yeah,
It wasn't anything. It very small margin.
yeah. Like I said, it's .007, 7 thousandths of a mile an hour over Renus VK, who qualified second. Renus VK is also fast. He hasn't the lowest he's ever qualified for Indy 500, I believe, is fourth. Um,
Also,
Fourth, and then third the last 2 years, and now second.
wasn't this the fastest Indy 500 qualifier through the
It was
entire
the
field?
fastest 4 lap average in
Yeah, there we
history.
go.
Wasn't the fastest single lap, but it was the fastest 4 lap average in history. So for those reasons, we had to put him as our driver of the week. Moving on to what's probably going to be the most stacked section to talk about. Let's dive into Asphalt All Stars. Asphalt short track, mainly late model segment. And first thing we have to discuss is like the NASCAR segment, the North Wilkesboro recap, except they raced much earlier on in the week, Wednesday night. It was going to be Tuesday night and Wednesday night, but
Now,
because
honestly,
of rain, they had to move the Stars Tour race to Wednesday. And I just got to say, they could have probably fit qualifying in, redone qualifying somehow, but the race got rained out mid qualifying. Only 13 cars qualified, and 30 something cars would have had to go through the LCQ, and so a bunch of cars left. Like Hunter, I think Hunter Robbins and Eric Jones, a bunch of cars left what could have been an absolutely stacked race because the ASA Stars sanctioning body, made some controversial decisions. But all said and done, uh, when it got to Wednesday, the first race of the day was the Cars Tour Pro Late Model race, which Augie Grill got the pole for it. Actually failed to qualify for the Stars race. He finished 2 spots below the cutoff for the LCQ. Um, so he turns around, fails to qualify for the Stars race, puts it on pole for the Cars Tour Pro Late Model race. Then he lost the lead early to Corey Heim, and then I believe a restart sometime in the last half, he uh, he was able to get back up there and
I want to
reclaim the
say it
lead.
was like 60 something to go, like 61 to go or something like that.
It was only a 75 lap race.
Maybe I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
don't know what you're thinking about, but
maybe it was like 20 to go. I remember
um,
watching bits and pieces of it. I
there
don't
was
remember.
a caution in the last half of the race. Um, so Augie Grill was the first winner of the week, um, in that 43 Pro Late model car, which he's won a few times in this, or make it 2 times this year. He won at Cordele. He finished third in the Alabama 200 with that car after getting the entire right side dented in like
That
a crumpled up Coke can.
that was the wildest thing I think I've ever seen happen. Because I remember watching that on You were there, if I remember
Yeah, I
correctly.
was there.
I was watching it on Racing America, and I was like, "Holy crap! Did he just do that?" The whole right side of the car. The best explanation is a crushed Coke can, because I mean,
Exactly.
it's pushed all the way up here, and the front end is way down here. It's just amazing how
That
that.
race was a wreck fest, and he ended up finishing third. But Augie Grill has speed in that car. I wouldn't count him out to win a couple more this year. And then
Now, if I remember correctly, he builds all of his chassis, correct?
yeah, because he owns Grand American Race Cars. He builds not only all of his own cars, but he builds several other people's cars as well. And that Justin South machine he's piloting, I believe that's a GARC car, and if it is, it means Augie built it. So I think he built that car. Could be wrong. And I think some of the modifieds, it's other people's car, but most of the late models he runs are his own, um, if not all of them. And the next race was the Cars Tour late model stock car race. This one had a bunch of Cup drivers in it. You had um, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Dale Jr., Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, bunch of people in this field. And
Elliott
in the
was that one.
hmm?
Elliott was also in that one.
No, he wasn't. He was only in the ASA Stars race.
Man, I'm getting the series confused. I'll let you handle that because I keep messing up.
Um, and not to mention, the pro late model field was also stacked. I mean, you had Jackson Boone, Augie Grill, Corey Heim, Seth Christensen. I think there might have been a couple NASCAR drivers running the pro late model race too. I'm not sure, but all the races were stacked. But anyways, back to the late model stock car race. So, but Brendan Butterbean Queen would go on to win that. Of
You
course,
know,
he had to celebrate at Waffle House with the trophy later. Um, so yeah, that was a good race. And the final race on Wednesday night was the ASA Stars National Tour race. This one had a stacked field. This one had William Byron, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and of course all the ASA ringers: Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nasse, Michael Hind, Jake Finch, Casey Roderick. So a bunch of great cars running in that one, and Bubba Pollard would go on to win. There at the end, Willie B was closing in because lap cars would not get out of Bubba's way, and if Willie B hadn't gone like 3 lanes too wide, coming to the white flag, he would have gotten to Bubba on the last lap. But Bubba held on. He got the win for the late model race, the ASA late model race, and that about does it for all I have to really recap. Was there anything that you remember, Steve?
well, the only thing I really have to say is people keep saying this. This goes back to the NASCAR section, but it's still within this realm. People keep saying that the track just wasn't to par. It's the car. We talked about that with the NASCAR series because all
Mm-hmm.
the late model races were epic. I mean, it was
Exactly.
door banging action. It was back and forth. There was no clear winner at the beginning of the race. It was literally a battle of the best driver, and that's what makes North Wilkesboro North Wilkesboro. That's the reason I like the track. And
I really hope they keep the tradition of doing the late model stuff the week, during the week before the All Star race or whatever they do in North Wilkesboro in the
yeah,
future.
I don't know what SMI has planned for North Wilkesboro, but I'm expecting big things considering how they went about everything. There was 30 something thousand people that were in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
You might notice that one of our own is not here tonight.
JP
JP
was one of those 30,000.
Saturday night and was like, "Screw it, I'm going to North Wilkesboro." So he got a lot of stuff at North Wilkesboro that we'll be happy to share with you guys at a later time when we get everything situated, developed, make it look really good. A little bit of photo editing, but it. He said it was something an amazing experience. The
Yeah.
people of North Wilkesboro were another experience for him, but who some of the
So,
Snapchats and stories and stuff that were sent were just whoa, really that actually happens. But yeah, I think that's all I have on that.
so what we have to look forward to under our Asphalt All Stars segment is the Disturbing the Peace 100 at Montgomery Motor Speedways this weekend. Stacked fields. It's pro late models, late model sportsmen, and I believe street stocks and pure stocks. Um, I LRR, our partnership with late model sportsman racer Wes Willis. He'll be running this weekend, and there'll be several people, notable drivers in the pro late model race. I mean, Jackson Boone, Augie Grill, just to name two. There's a bunch more I can't think of the top of my head. But it'll be a fun race. I'll be there getting vlog footage and interviews and a bunch of coverage from the races. So stay tuned to the Facebook page to see all the latest stuff. Who won what race, who's starting on pole, any wrecks that happens, all the insider information. Keep an eye on our socials for that.
Maybe
Um,
maybe get a flying fire extinguisher again. Even though
Maybe we'll see.
not the right not the right track, but that'd be awesome. Go
Yeah,
for
that's Florida man activity.
yeah, that is Florida man activity. Well, that was Russian Florida man activity. Well, correction, is he actually Russian or is
No,
he
he's not
got a Russian
Russian.
name?
He's just a Yankee,
Oh,
I think. Um, so, with all that being said, we got to name our driver of the week for asphalt short track racing, and we went with Augie Grill after his win with the Cars Tour Pro Late models. And I mean, Corey Heim was running up front for a bunch of the race. He did good. Butterbean, he did really good. Bubba Pollard did really good. But I think what set Augie away from the rest was the fact that he failed to qualify for one race, turns around, and is extremely dominant in the other series. And it was just a big,
it
well,
just that he can still get out there and
uh huh.
run with the guys.
It was
And
a look what I can do moment.
yeah, kind of like, hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Come get me.
Yeah.
Kind of mentality. We're all here for that.
So, that being said, let's move on to our fourth and final segment, Dirt Track and Drama. Just what was a dominant weekend from Donnie Schatz with the Tony Stewart Racing team for the World of Outlaws sprint cars. So he starts off by winning at Attica Raceway Park on Friday night, and he completes the Ohio sweep by winning Saturday night at Sharon Speedway. Um, so Donnie, I think that was his first two wins on the year, got him to career win number 309. Um, so dominant weekend from him. He's got speed heading into the summer stretch. He's definitely going to be in contention. Um, so impressive showing by Donnie Schatz. And honestly, the only other thing we really have to talk about in Dirt Track and Drama is an upcoming race at Sharon Speedway, but this time with the World of Outlaws late models. Um, I don't really know a bunch of the stuff about Sharon Speedway. I've never been up there. Yeah, not close to Ohio, but if it can be like the sprint car race, it's going to be another great World of Outlaws race. And the fact that they have two World of Outlaws races within a week makes me extremely jealous.
Yeah, that. Yeah, why can't Dega have that, or
Yeah,
why
if
can't the track local to me have that, or
if
local?
Ohio can have two World of Outlaws races within a week, Talladega can surely have two within a
Man,
weekend.
that chemical spill had to do something to the dirt up there. Like, I mean, I don't know. It had to do something, grippy or something. I don't know.
um, And then the final thing to really talk about with Dirt Track and Drama is naming our Dirt Track Driver of the Week, which was, to no surprise, Donnie Schatz with the story of the weekend. Um, Dominant performance from him. Really, it was no brainer having him be the not brainer, driver of the week. Um, brainer of the week. I don't know what the hell, but that's honestly it. I mean, do you have anything that happened local to you as far as dirt stuff?
I don't have anything that happened, but there is one thing I would like to discuss because you already know about it. Our viewers don't know about it. I am currently working on a project in North Georgia with
Mm-hmm.
with some of the greatest North Georgia dirt track drivers that have ever lived. And if anybody that's watching has any information on North Georgia dirt track racing whatsoever, or North Georgia asphalt racing, I don't care, either or. They both correlate. I'm doing a whole segment on North Georgia auto racing, the importance of North Georgia to the auto racing community, with legends such as Bill Elliott, uh, Mickey Swims, uh, God, uh, I'm lost for names right now because there's so many. Um, Mr. Mr. Pageant. Um, there's just so many different names that are involved in North Georgia auto racing. Chandler Smith, but all the Elliots, um, Gober Sosby, just all the names. But if anybody has any information about any of the local tracks that used to be here, or any of the local drivers, maybe it's some of your family, I would love to talk with you. Just send us an email, or just reach out on our socials. Um, Reed, if you could repeat what the email is, I don't remember it
If
offhand.
any way you can think of that you want to find to contact us, go to libertyracingreview.com. We have a whole contact
Yeah,
page,
that,
has all of our info, links to all our socials. If you want to contact us in any way possible, go to the website and you will find it.
yep,
Um, but yeah, just if you are wondering what the email is, it's just libertyracingreview@gmail.com. Um, Send something there, or like I said, go to the website. If you want to message us another way, then you have several options, and you can find them all at libertyracingreview.com. So
and, and hopefully within the next month or so, because this is going to be a whole series. I'm going to be talking about each individual driver and or track owner or promoter, whatever they were. It's going to be a whole series. This isn't going to be something that's going to come out all at once. Because if it was, dear God, it would be a 30-page article. And I don't think anybody's going to sit through and read 30 pages of an article. But somebody might. Who knows? But there's possibilities that we could even have some of these individuals on the show.
yeah.
Not promising anything, but there is possibilities. Um,
So go ahead.
that's all I have.
Um, my last talking point. I'm gonna backtrack a bit. Because this has to do with kind of a mix of open wheel and Formula Liberty and Asphalt All Stars. So, Bobby and Roger Roos, with the Ventures in Racing, they have kind of a partnership with Augie Grill and Grand American Race Cars. Augie built them, actually, two road course late models. Um, so I will be talking with Roger and Bobby and hopefully Augie this weekend in Montgomery to get some more information about that, when they're going to be running them at Barber Motorsports Park. Um, and yeah, I really hope we can get some coverage on the road course late models, because that's such a out there thing that if we could cover it, that'd be huge, and that'd be something really cool to cover.
I really
Um,
hope that they can approve it, that we can get an in-car camera. Because there's so much stuff I want to see in that car on track. I just want to see how it handles the corner, everything about that car. I want to see how it works out. Because Barber is not an easy track. Barber is a difficult track. People don't realize that.
yeah,
And putting a late model out there, late models on a track with, a track that IndyCar comes to, like,
but
that's a big jump for late models.
I will say the Roos brothers, they their road course ringers, they know what they're doing up there. So if anybody's going to be piloting this, it's going to be them, and I'm sure they'll do great in it. Um, that's all I got. Got anything else?
Nope, that's all I got. Hopefully, next week we can get all the pictures and everything from
Yeah.
his adventure in North Wilkesboro posted out to you guys, just so you can see our accounts of North Wilkesboro and how everything went there.
But yeah, kind of a short episode tonight, but just want to thank everybody for the support, and we'll be back next week. So until then, stay safe, and we'll see you whenever.